Welcome to another video here on Stutteringfreediary. Today we're gonna talk about something unexpected. But what is that really? So every once in a while, life is testing us in a specific and special way. So the other day, something happened to me when I was on my way to buy something from the city center in the town where I live in. So as I was parking my car and then as I went on to go to a shop to pay for the parking fee, all of a sudden an unexpected emotion came up onto the surface. And at this point, before I go any further, I would like to share with you a story from a friend of mine around 10-15 years ago, I think it was. And he was telling me that as soon as he graduated from school, from from high school, he went to study car mechanics. So what he told me about the first semester was that the course material of car mechanics that he used to take in the last 3 grades in high school, they just went through within 3 classes at the university studying car mechanics. So for some reason he decided to give up and stop his studies because he thought that was way too difficult. He justified his whole thinking by saying, we spent 3 years studying and learning specific material, and at the university we just spent 3 classes to do the same thing. Imagine what's next, like what we are going to learn and how difficult it's going to be. So the transition is going to be smooth from this story to my story. So I spent around 6 or 7 years consciously and very hard trying to, not trying, but working towards overcoming stuttering. So I achieved that, and in retrospect I can say that sometimes what you achieved within a certain period of time, for the purpose of this video, let's say it was actually 6 or 7 years, from 2011, 12 until 2017, where I did my best towards making that stutter-free pattern happen. So back to the story when I went to the shop to pay for the parking fee, because out of nowhere this emotion came up which was telling me, no, you are not worth asking for anything. And this for the people who are affected, who are suffering from stuttering, may be able to relate to this, or maybe they don't, but it requires you to be conscious. It requires you to know yourself in a way that you know your emotions, because this emotion, if it had occurred, if it had come up onto the surface like 5-6 years ago, that would be it. I would be paralyzed mentally. I would have just said, no, go back and leave. Don't go to the shop to do anything. And I remember I had difficulties going to for example, to the petrol station, because here in Greece you have to ask. You say, for example, fill up like 20 euros of gasoline in my car, and so on and so forth. So one of the underlying reasons, if you dig deep enough, and if you really want to find what's underneath, is that stuttering is one of the reasons. I'm saying I don't want to be like sound extreme or absolute, but one of the reasons is that people who suffer from it have difficulties asking, like asking from someone's attention, for example, like asking and receiving. If you write it down as a thought, as a phrase, maybe through mind mapping or brainstorming, you can go further than that and see in your particular case what's what. But the thing is that when someone's alone, a person who stutters, when he or she is alone, usually they don't stutter. But it's when they are around other people, they stutter. So that goes to show that it's about attention seeking, but not in the conventional sense. It's about a simple way for receiving someone's attention. I don't know how this message comes across. However, back to the story again for the parking fee that I had to pay. Within half a minute or so, I had to deal with something that 5 or 6 years ago would have been very scary, but I have developed like the skill, the habit to be able to deal with this. So the reason I'm mentioning that in the first place as a topic in this video is because I found that very intense and very intimidating, very scary. But after all, I was able, through repetition, constant repetition, to deal with that successfully. So that was today's message. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.